Hello, Wendy Blythe, Chair of Cllr. My question relates to agenda item 4B and C. It relates to the loss of experienced senior officers. Cambridge is the fastest growing city in the UK. Its local plan is under severe challenge from well-funded developers. The university and colleges are among those challenging the local plan, and the planning department and its urban design and conservation teams play a vital role in safeguarding the unique character of Cambridge and supporting the quality of life of our local communities. And the best possible legal advice is now needed to defend the local plan. Residents are therefore extremely concerned at the loss of such experienced senior council officers. Is the leader of the council able to reassure us sufficient resources are in place to ensure that our city's unique character and the quality of its community life are not only defended but enhanced and protected? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. The two reports that we've got on our agenda do not have any direct relationship to our planning team, except in relation to the fact that one of the directors currently has responsibility for planning. The nature of the reorganisation that is part of the report references that we are effectively going down from 3 directors to 2 within the council, but what isn't reported specifically, but is part of the change, is that along with South Cambridge District Council, we're appointing a new joint director, both of planning and growth. And effectively what that does is it actually puts up to a higher level the responsibility for planning. So we have in the past had a very able head of planning who left near the end of last year, and we will now have a joint director. And what we've effectively done is we take the opportunity of that vacancy to bring the 2 plans and the 2 councils much closer together. So we are not effective, we're not reducing the resource for planning, and in fact in other parts of the council we've been in small ways increasing the number of staff working on planning because we've protected planning, despite the fact that we've had to cut staffing in other areas and achieve efficiency savings. So the number of staff on planning is there. So I can give you a clear commitment that we will continue to provide the necessary staff. As you'll be aware, the process over the last 9 months of responding to the inspector's questions involved a huge amount of work by a very able planning policy team. And they're not here today, they were here at a council meeting that we had in March, and we have a very able team of officers who have been shown great commitment in the workload that they've led on planning policy on the very issues that you raised about an objective assessment of our existing local plan, Mr. Mayor, which was to actually demonstrate, have we got the housing numbers right? Are they in the right place? Are our policies, including on the green belt, the right policies? So we expended a significant sum of money, rightly, to undertake that, and huge amounts of officer hours have been put into that. So I think we can demonstrate what we've done. We can demonstrate with the workload that's ahead, because we've just had an announcement from the planning inspector of a detailed programme of hearings in June, in July and in September. That the commitment is there. We have to work hard. It's up to the inspector, but we believe there's a compelling case for the plans for both ourselves and South Cambridgeshire to be supported, and our officer team will be there. We have a new joint director starting in June, Stephen Kelly. We're very happy with that appointment, a very able leader, a very able planner to give joint leadership and cement the partnership that we have, because our future planning is interlinked with our neighbours in South Cambridgeshire, and we welcome the opportunity to build a joint team on that.
To Do I get, yes. It's a comment and sort of a supplementary question as well, and it's intended to be sort of positive and constructive. So, in 2008, the Historic Environment and Conservation Manager, John Preston, was saying, Lewis, that he didn't have the resources and staff to deal with all the growth issues, and he was made redundant. There is no specialist conservation voice, a senior management level, who's engaging in partnership with the colleges, the major developers. And I think that was, a lot of people think that that was actually reflected in the consultation, the recent consultation on the historic core. And, I mean, in support, this goes back to central government policy and the cuts that are biting so hard that they're leaving a heritage city like Cambridge, which is loved the world over, without adequate resources to deal with all the growth issues. I mean, this is something that's impacting on local communities. For example, we talked earlier on about Milton Road. There should have been those reports completed on the all the historic approaches into Cambridge, and Milton Road was one of those roads that was supposed to have had a report done. So, what my question is, what positive and constructive action can the community take? For example, can the council support some form of community action that Antony Carpen's talked about, or Friends of Cambridge, or there are lots of possibilities. What can we do that would help in a positive way, given that you are facing, having to make quite severe cuts? Thank you.
Well, we were not on this side in charge when choices were made, but the changes in the built environment and conservation team effectively recognised that you need to link both the built environment and the conservation team together. And I agree with that, just as I've explained our commitment to joint planning with our neighbours. We do have professional conservation officers in that team, and we continue to resource major pieces of work like the historic core review that you mentioned. And also we've been listening to residents' associations, as in Barrow Road, where they've been asking for conservation area status. So we continue to undertake significant work, and if the Federation of Cambridge Residents Association wants to meet and discuss the issues, I'm happy to follow that up.
Excellent. Thank you.